Hello everyone, it's Nina. Thanks so much for joining me for a new tutorial. And today I'm going to be sharing a fun technique using the Heart Layers Stencils and Transfer Gel to create beautiful foiled accents on your stenciling. This technique is a lot of fun and surprisingly very easy. The hardest part is waiting for the transfer gel to dry. So I've got the Heart Layers stencil set from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm going to be using this set to create some beautiful ink blending, and then we'll add some transfer gel over top of that. Here's a panel that I've already created using some distress inks and the transfer gel, and this one is drying. I'm going to show you how we go ahead and start putting this together. So the Heart Layers stencils work together to create a really beautiful layered heart design. These stencils are also great because they can be used either together or on their own for an individual appearance. I'm going to be using all three layered together, and I started by stenciling on the first layer. Then I'm going to line up the second stencil and make sure that it overlaps the other hearts evenly. These stencils are already pre-designed to align perfectly, so all you need to do is attach them down with some tape in the right places just to make sure that they overlap with the hearts. Then we're going to add some additional ink through this stencil, and this time we're overlapping the ink that we already added down the first time. This is leaving us with a really beautiful overlapping effect, and it really makes this pattern look so much more interesting than if you use just a single set of hearts. We're going to step it up even further by using the third layer this time. However, we're not going to use any ink. I'm going to attach the stencil down and instead bring in the Deco Foil Transfer Gel. This is a product from ThermoWeb that, once dry, adheres to foil when you run it through either a laminator or foiling machine. We'll get to that in just a second. The trick with using this gel is to make sure you apply a thin, even coat. So what I like to do is I like to stick down a lot of transfer gel all at once, and then slowly work my way by taking off the transfer gel and leaving just a very thin coating over top of the stencil. Once I've applied that and made it nice and smooth, I'll remove the stencil and clean this really well to get all of the transfer gel off of the stencil. When it dries, those hearts are perfectly clear, so you're not going to see them. I'm going to create a sandwich inside some parchment paper. I start off by putting a couple of sheets of plain cardstock to act as a shim, then my ink blended panel with the transfer gel, and also a sheet of foil. Next, I'm going to bring in my laminator. When your laminator is ready to go, mine has a green light on it. Once it's completely heated up, I'll take my parchment paper sandwich and run this through the laminator. As I feed it through, it's going to feed it out the back end of the laminator. And this entire time, it's applying heat onto our project where that transfer gel has been applied. When we take the foil off, you see that the foil adhered only to the transfer gel areas, leaving you a beautiful and dimensional appearance, and the end result is so pretty. I used a couple other Gina K and ThermoWeb foils. This one's the Twinkling Pink. I also used some watercolor gold. This one is so pretty. It has some different tones of gold throughout it. And then I also used a shimmering red foil too. This one's my favorite. I love how these classic Valentine colors look so beautiful together. Now this technique can be used with any colors you'd like. I'm focused mostly on Valentine's themed projects, so I'm going to be using the sentiments Love and Hugs from Birch Press's Big Sugar Script die collection. I'm running these through with some coordinating colors of cardstock to match each of my panels. I also have that same coordinating color of cardstock as the card base. All of my cards are 4 1/4 inch square, which works really well with this square pattern of those hearts. There's also an outline die that goes with these sugar script dies, and I'll use that as well, just to give a little bit of separation behind the sentiments. I stacked 3 of the colored sentiments up on each of my projects, so that way it has a nice dimensional and sturdy appearance. These are going to get popped off of the center of my card, and on all of them, I'm going to add a coordinating sentiment. Each are from the Love Messages stamp set from Simon Says Stamp. I embossed each of those sentiments on 2 coordinating colors of cardstock in a color that coordinated well with the main colors in the stenciling. I used embossing ink and some embossing powders from Brutus Monroe, and on some of them I used the Nested Banners die set from Simon Says Stamp to cut them out. I used both the flag and the ovals from those sets, and I popped each of those sentiments up onto the cards using foam tape as well. Now the bigger sentiments each have 2 layers of foam tape, and then the smaller supporting sentiments have 1 layer. And that's going to finish off these cards. Once the transfer gel dried, these cards took really quick to put together, and these would be so much fun to do as a big batch and send to a bunch of friends or family for not just Valentine's Day, but beyond Valentine's Day, to say thinking of you, I love you, and miss you. So I hope that this technique of using transfer gel with your stencils, and in particular the Heart Layers stencil from Simon Says Stamp, has inspired you to try this out for yourself. I really enjoy this technique, it's so much fun, and the results are so beautiful. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to head on over to the blog to get more information on each card, including still pictures and products used. You can also subscribe to our channel for more weekly inspiration, and thank you so much for tuning in and spending some time with me today. I'll be back again with more to share, but until next time, have a fabulous day. Bye!